This is my 2005 Jaguar XJR, and I've owned this car for 10 months now and done nearly 5,000 miles in it. So in this video, I'm going to cover all the costs to run this car and answer, is it a money pit or a bargain? So after a month of owning this car, I ran into my first issue, which I did cover in a previous video, but if you haven't seen that, I'll recap everything briefly here. So the car was due its MOT and it failed because the airbag light was stuck on the dash. So I took it to what the dealer that I had the MOT done at recommended only a Jaguar dealer will be able to diagnose. So I took their advice, trusting them, and went to a Jaguar main dealer who then charged me £432 just to look at the car for 2 hours. They didn't diagnose it correctly. They gave me an incorrect diagnosis. So I told them to put their money where, whatever, you can make the rest up, and went to an XJ specialist who then diagnosed it within about 10 minutes, and it was a clock spring somewhere in the electrics in the dash, and it was causing the airbag light to be stuck on, and it also was causing a false temperature reading. So we drove the car to the airport after a month of owning it, and it was saying that it was overheating. The needle for the temperature had gone right to the top, so I panicked and thought, oh my god, the car's overheating. It wasn't, it was just an electrical issue. That was fixed and it cost 460 something pounds. After that problem, I really didn't have many issues for quite some time, and I drove this car very happily for another 6 months with no issues and did about 3,000 or 4,000 miles in that time, and it was an absolute joy. This car is such an amazing car. Every time I look at it, I smile. Every time I get in it, I smile. It's unbelievable. I don't think I will ever sell this car. But I looked through the service history, and whilst it hadn't met the amount of mileage it needed for its next service, it certainly had exceeded the time in which you're recommended to get another service. The XJ specialist said it doesn't really need to be done, but if you want to have it done, you can. And I did, because there was 2 other issues. The first one was this. So if you don't know, in the front bumper of the XJR, you've got these little water jets that squirt the headlamps clean. And this one had somehow disappeared from its housing, and that is annoyingly not a simple job of just popping it in. You have to take the whole front bumper off. And it also meant that every 6 times you press the windscreen washer, these squirt. And because that was missing, it was launching a jet of water 6 foot up in the air. So if I stopped at a zebra crossing, I was basically starting water fights with random pedestrians. So that needed to be fixed. And then I had another issue, which was in the car. The sun visor on the driver's side, the bracket just snapped. You know, old plastic, it got brittle, it snapped, so that needed to be replaced as well. If you're enjoying this video and you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and let us know what you want to see with this car and what other cars you want to see on this channel, because we're going to get hold of some incredible cars, but we just need you to tell us what you want to see. So I took it to have a full service and fix those 2 problems, and it came to a grand total of £470, which I think is very reasonably priced. And this XJ specialist that I found isn't too expensive. He's very reasonably priced. So the only other thing that I sort of have that still seems to be a problem is when I go over sort of small bumps in the road, you can hear some sort of loose rattle, and I thought perhaps it might be something to do with the suspension, but I don't think it is. I think it's something loose somewhere that's just wobbling about when you go over a bump, and it is getting on my nerves, but I cannot find out what it is, and neither could the chap from XJ Services. So if you have any recommendations, if you own one of these and you've had something similar, let me know in the comments. So the total cost for maintenance in the time I've owned this car is £1,368, which I don't think it's too bad. And now those are fixed, probably shouldn't have any issues for some time to come, but time will tell. Now, the other cost on a car with an engine this large is the petrol. So I can't remember what my fuel economy is, because it's not something I look at very regularly, because it could make you a little bit upset. Let's have a look.
The Russian president, Vladimir.
Never ever have the radio on, and it turns on when I'm filming. Strange. So, fuel economy. Average fuel economy I'm getting is 22.4 miles per gallon, and I have seen it go down to 18. So it depends how you drive this car and whether you do long journeys or you just do short journeys. When I was doing just short journeys, it went down to 18, and then I had a couple of long distance runs in this car, which brought the fuel economy up. But don't buy this car for economy, because it's not an economic car. It's not horrendous for the amount of performance and enjoyment you get out of it, but it is expensive. So if you're like me and you don't really have to do that much driving, obviously now I work from home and I make videos for a living, and most of the time I'm on motorbikes making those videos, so I don't need to use my car that often other than for pleasure. So my fuel costs are lower than they were before with a more economic car, just because I'm driving it less. So for me, the fuel economy doesn't matter at all. So the other cost that one has to think about is insurance, which for me at 23 years old, yes, I'm bald, I'm 23. I lost my hair at 16. But anyway, the insurance cost is just over £700 a year, and I'm obviously got renewal in 2 months, so I'm intrigued to see if it'll go down this year or if it'll stay the same. But I saw an interesting video about that actually. If your renewal quote comes in and it's about the same, that means the market value's dipped by 20% or something, so you should definitely go on a comparison site and get a cheaper quote. But 700 quid to insure a 4.2 litre supercharged V8 is amazing in my eyes. Now, one thing that money cannot describe is the amount of pleasure you get from this car. It is absolutely worth every penny for the amount of smiles you get out of this thing. The engine is just sublime. It's lovely and smooth, but it's got so much character. And I did actually do one upgrade to this car, which was fit a different supercharger intake, which wasn't that expensive. I can't remember the exact price, but I think it was under £100, and I fitted it myself. And what that has done is make the supercharger whine even more intense and give it a little bit more horsepower. So if you want to see the video where we fit that and drive it for the first time, go back and check that one out. But this engine has a lovely sort of rumble on tick over, and you've got so much low down torque that you get so much grunt from the get-go. So it really does feel like a beefy, muscly car, this does. And we recently had a Caterham, which is a dream car of ours, but not anymore, unfortunately. I much prefer the feeling of low down torque than having to rev the nuts and bolts off of something. So this is the kind of engine that I bond with. And not only that, this car looks stunning. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a true modern classic car, and I think this car will be recognised for generations to come as one of the last true Jaguars ever made. Another thing to note living with this car is the comfort, and I can tell you it is absolutely sublime. It's so comfortable. You've got a lot of adjustability with this seat. You've even got lumbar support in here, and you've got 3 different memory settings for the seat if you want, but I'm the only one who drives this car, so I don't bother with that. It's got cruise control. It's got everything that you would need out of a modern car without all the annoying beeps and extras that you get nowadays, because this was a very high-end luxury car when it came out, so it really did have all the bells and whistles. What that does mean is that you've got this very dated infotainment screen in the middle, which I like it. It's part of its charm, actually. It shows you that it's from an era, and I wouldn't want to replace it for a modern Apple CarPlay system. I don't think you need that, and this stays true to the to what the car is. But you've got so much beautiful interior. The leather is fantastic, the wood is a must-have for me, and they don't make interiors like this anymore. The character and soul in this interior speaks volumes. They do not make interiors like this. And when I went to that Jaguar dealer, I sat in a couple of new Range Rovers, and Range Rovers of this era also had lovely interiors. But nowadays, God, they're boring. They've become so simple and basically copying a Tesla that there's just nothing in there. You've just got a massive screen, no buttons, which, as we've said before, is dangerous because, oh, I want to change the temperature. Oh, let's go into 5 menus to change the temperature. Oh, I've crashed. This, you've got buttons here for everything, and that's what you need. And you learn where the buttons are and you can touch them without looking down. So having a modern screen in a car is just as dangerous as going on your mobile phone and texting someone. So is this car a money pit or a bargain? Well, I think it's a bargain. It's not cost me that much to maintain, and even if the engine went wrong, which, going off of the chap who runs the Jaguar specialist, he's got exactly the same car, and he had done over 170,000 miles before the engine needed replacing. And this car has only done 56,000 miles. So if you do ever get to the point where you have to replace the engine, that's going to cost about £4,500, which isn't too bad if you ask me. So for £10,000 for one of these, I think it's absolutely worth buying. And I think you should take the comments so that these are unreliable with a pinch of salt, because if you look for a good example like this, then you're probably going to be all right. So stay tuned on this channel and make sure you subscribe, because we've got plenty of videos planned on this new car channel, including driving some Morgans for the first time. That will hopefully be next month. And I want to do more videos with this car, so let me know what you want to see. And also, a friend of mine who you've seen on this channel before, who had an E46 M3, he sold that car. So I might have a chat with him and ask why he sold it and what he's thinking of buying next, which is possibly something even more interesting. So stay tuned and we'll see you next time.